Om Kayena vacha manasyendrayirva Bhutyatmanava prakriti swabhava Karomi adyat sakalam paresma Narayana samarpayami Narayana samarpayami.
Dear Seeker of Truth, welcome. This is a very auspicious moment. We are going to talk about Bhakti. Bhakti, divine love. So we are going to talk about Bhakti as the essence of all spiritual paths, as the soul of all spiritual paths, and also as a path in itself, Bhakti Yoga. So this is a work made by Sage Shandilya, the Shandilya Bhakti Sutras. Not much is known about this Shandilya, only that he was a sage, a God-realized being that gone through many other philosophies and finally got to the nectar like Bhakti as the soul of it all. So Sage Shandilya had a very intellectual approach also. He was concerned about getting from the different authorities, the different scriptures, the validity, the importance of Bhakti as a spiritual path. So he gathered that all and shared it. So may you all find divine love in your hearts. May you all be blessed by this auspiciousness. May you all find God. Moving on, Shandilya Bhakti Sutras. We're still on Sutra 69, and we are dealing with the offenses. Now we're going to start with the offenses one by one. We will not cover them all, of course, but the importance is to get the spirit of it. So the first one, to vilify saints, devotees, seekers of truth. So blaspheming a saintly person is deadly. So this is the first one, to vilify saints, devotees, seekers of truth. Speak wrong about them, thinking bad about them. This is all an offense. So blaspheming a saintly person is deadly. Wrongdoing to a saintly person, blaspheming them, speaking bad about them, all of this is mortal. When our speech shows disrespect, intolerance, envy, violence towards a devotee, so when the speech has hints of this, it is a great offense. Just censoring a devotee is a great offense. Then it is easily guessed what a huge offense we will commit if we treat him with envy and violence. So treating a devotee based on envy and violence, that is a big, big offense. So this is something that is quite common amongst devotees. In ashram environment, for example, or everywhere, speaking this and that about one of the other devotees, this is very bad, it is offensive. Seekers think that if a devotee does something foul, then why would it be wrong to criticize it? If we are speaking out of fact, even speaking like this amounts to offense. The question of truth should not arise, but the fact of discussing a fault. The scriptures say, do not discuss a devotee's fault. There was the Sanskrit passage here, but I cannot I would just be inventing how to pronounce this, but translation, do not discuss a devotee's fault. It doesn't matter if the devotee has the fault or not, do not discuss it. And this is very bad for all involved, because the one that has the fault is receiving that criticism directly and indirectly. It's going to him, and you are also receiving that criticism, because the compassion you're lacking towards him, you lack towards yourself. So everybody loses. Only it's not seen this way. But apart from that, it is offensive. If we blaspheme such a devotee, we are bound to commit offense. Then we need not stress how much aparada, how much offense we will commit if we criticize a good devotee. So if it is a bad devotee, it is a big offense. If it is a good devotee, then. But you shouldn't enter these questions good or bad. Focus on yourself and in God. That is the best. When we see a bad devotee, we may criticize him. So the Lord has called him a sadhu, so that we remember not to blaspheme him. And we will have a passage here in the end that shows this clearly. What is a sadhu? Whether we speak or hear bad about a devotee, both are offenses. So not only speaking bad about a devotee, but even listening to someone else speaking bad about a devotee is an offense, and you shouldn't be there. And doing these things about a saintly person, a God-realized being, that's by far even worse. Therefore, if someone blasphemes a devotee, we should close our ears, remember God, and leave that place immediately. Chant the holy name, get out of there. Don't stand there listening. The Lord said, no purpose is served by criticizing. Sin is all that we gain. As a result, the one who does not criticize is the most blessed of all, because he doesn't incur in sin, and in this case, in aparada, in offense. Criticism of saintly persons is transferred to the holy name. If somebody offends, criticizes sadhus, whose pure hearts are a place of respite for Govinda, the holy name will never be pleased, because sadhu ninda, which is criticism of devotees, is the first and biggest offense. When a saint or a devotee is vilified by somebody other than you, it is not good to sit there and listen. Move away from such company. Let not our minds do jugglery and compare or judge saints. So not even comparing saints, evaluating saints, this shouldn't be done. And this is quite common, comparing devotees. Oh, this is better than that one, or that one is worse, or even saints. This saint is better than the other saint, and this and that. Don't do that. So move away from such company. And if you are that company, then silence yourself, chant more the divine name, purify your mind. Here it is natural for us to raise this question. Who is a sadhu? The answer is, sadhu refers to those who have taken shelter of Bhagavad Dharma. I will paraphrase it now from a passage. Sri Krishna has himself instructed Arjuna. O Arjuna, if one is extremely evil, that is, harms others, steals others' properties and wife, yet worships me exclusively, does not worship any other than me, the Supreme Being, does not practice any other path, such as Gyan or Karma, resorting only to Bhakti, which means making all of spiritual practice align with Bhakti, with the purpose of Bhakti, does not wish to attain anyone other than me, accept him as a sadhu. After all, he has taken to the best path, meaning he has decided where I go to hell or get a lower form of life, I will worship none other than the Lord. So he is a sadhu. So this level of devotee is a sadhu, is the one that you should not criticize whatsoever. So from here above, just imagine. So the first big offense, vilify saints, devotees. One of the biggest offenses. Next one, to look at one's preceptor, the guru, as an ordinary being. This is quite common. Even this comparison of the previous verse, it is quite common for devotees, for seekers to go to a satsang and start evaluating and judging and this and that, no reverence, no sacredness, just evaluating and judging. From where do you stand to do those judgments? You should not let your mind to have those habits. It is very polluting. So to look at one's preceptor as an ordinary human being, this is quite common also. Devotees, seekers looking at the guru and imagine that he is doing this or that because of the same reasons that they do, with human desires, human intentions, like it was just some ordinary person. That is quite offensive. It is our foremost duty to serve our guru. His words and instructions are to be carried with reverence. But we think we are smarter than our guru and try to question him, test him, and do all sorts of bad things, like how we evaluate a candidate in the interview. Please let us not do that. Those who revere Guru more than the Lord himself are dear to the Lord. Because only a great soul can do that. And it's quite common and easy, normal to project one's mind into the minds of others and to see others, judge others according to ourselves. And this is transferred for the Guru, but this is an offense. This is offensive behavior. So by doing that, you are blocking your spiritual progress. You're hindering it. So I'll read again this part. From the devotee's point of view, it is our foremost duty to serve our Guru. His words and instructions are to be carried with reverence. This is the level. It is an offense to consider the Guru who possesses full and true knowledge of the holy name. From the material point of view, to consider him mortal. There's another passage which I will not repeat also because, well, probably it wouldn't sound well. But I will read the translation. Those who consider the Guru, who is none different from the Lord himself, a mere mortal being, will have to suffer in hell. So this is a passage from a scripture. Gurusu nararmati yasyava narakisa. I tried it. Sorry for anyone who understands Sanskrit, but translation, those who consider the Guru, who is none different from the Lord himself, a mere mortal being, will have to suffer in hell. There's many hells in this world, in the worlds beyond. So those who think that hell is just a construction, they are mistaken. And these are the places, not the places for eternal damnation, but the places where the soul can purge its sins and move higher into the sphere of love. If we disregard Sri Gurudev or consider him ordinary, we offend the holy name. This happens when we not know the facts about Sri Gurudev. Then we take him in a worldly sense. And how could these facts be known, if not only by deep reverence and surrender? And those who are at that level, they don't have this kind of attitude. So first, that attitude needs to be cultivated so that your eyes can really see. Sri Krishna has himself said to Sri Uddhav, "Know the spiritual master as non-different from me. Do not ever disregard him or consider him mundane and behave adversely towards him." This is a passage from, not sure, Srimad Bhagavatam. Here it is. So know the spiritual master as non-different from me, says Krishna, which was an incarnation of God, saying that the Guru is equal to him, is non-different. Do not ever disregard him or consider him mundane or behave adversely towards him. And these advices, well, yes, in a sense it is an advice. It's not about protecting the Guru, it's protecting the devotee from himself and from his impurities. If we think of Sri Gurudev as a human being, all our efforts become fruitless. Sri Narada said, "The spiritual master is Sri Bhagavan manifested before us. He endows us with spiritual enlightenment. If we are as foolish as to consider him a mortal, all our spiritual efforts, such as study of scriptures, becomes as useless as the Hasti Snan, which is elephant bath." So this is a passage from Srimad Bhagavatam. This also indicates that when we adore the spiritual master as much as we love Sri Bhagavan, then we get all the inner meanings of the scripture from that great soul. This is from the Sveshtashvatar Upanishad. Sorry again if I didn't pronounce this correctly. So when we adore the spiritual master as much as we love Sri Bhagavan, then we get all the inner meanings of the scriptures from that great soul. So God sends the Guru as a manifestation of himself to take care of his devotees. If you're misbehaving towards the Guru without bringing that reverence, then your efforts become fruitless, you're ruining yourself. Therefore, we should always think about the good qualities of the spiritual master and sing his glory. We should consider his body as divine and not see any fault in him. We must realize that when we do not perform the spiritual practice as per his instructions, we do not chant the mantras given by him, we disregard the spiritual master and it offends the holy name. Well, we live in an age where the spiritual master is not only wronged, but seen as completely worldly and evil sometimes. But this is detrimental for the devotees, for the seekers of truth. It is completely detrimental, because by judging, criticizing, you're hurting yourself. So the path of the devotee is to find his Guru. And his Guru is by blessing, by merit. It's not by evaluating which one is the best and choose the best one. out of the batch of the worst ones. It's not that. It's to focus on your purification, on your spiritual practices, and let God point the way. Let the heart choose, point the way. Not choose, but point the way. And then you need to respect that and behave accordingly to that instruction. And it doesn't matter if your guru appears to be good or bad. If you're taking his actions to be bad towards you, take them. It is your way of purifying yourself. But it has to start in the right way. And the right way is do your work. Work intensely on your meditation, on your spiritual practices, on your devotion. Chant the holy name. Let God point you the direction. You will have, it will be brought to you, it will come from within, and then you will have to stick, to commit yourself, because God has come to you, has manifested in a specific way. There's no choosings. When you enter this field of choosing, evaluating, you're just hurting yourself, and then you'll get what you deserve, whatever that means. And all these confusions happen because it doesn't come from within. Because first you want to choose, then probably, maybe you'll do the work. It's not like that. And whenever the pointing comes, you need to trust it, to have faith, and to commit. Or else it will be your loss. Understand this. No one else's loss, your loss. So, no one knows when this happens, when the pointing towards the Guru comes. What one can is to work on oneself as best as possible, so that when it happens, you can honor it. So I will just repeat these passages for you to understand what is the attitude which is needed. Those who consider the Guru, who is none different from the Lord himself, a mere mortal being, will have to suffer in hell. Unless they understand what they're doing and they correct that. But we will go to that in more at the end of the offenses, how to expiate the offenses. And if we disregard Sri Gurudev or consider him ordinary, we offend the holy name. Now the passage of Sri Krishna. Know the spiritual master as none different from me. Do not ever disregard him or consider him mundane or behave adversely towards him. So, whoever God has sent to you, either in human form or not, if your Guru has already passed from this plane but still continues there guiding, you should continue with the same level of respect, reverence, because it is God himself. So this doing a little bit here, speaking with this one and with that one, taking some advice here, getting some advice there, this is not good. The relationship between a disciple and the Guru is sacred, and it's not a conference, not to have many gurus and consulting one and the other and to see which advice should I follow or follow all advices. The Guru guides the devotee towards clarification, towards enlightenment, and he takes him step by step. It's not the teachings. The teachings are a guide. Yes, it is important for the seeker, but it's more than that. And that can only happen through uncorrupted, undisturbed connection, and with your complete commitment and surrender to the Guru. And if you're going multiple sources, then there's no commitment, and you're the guru, because you will be choosing which one to follow and when. So all this is offensive behavior. So therefore we should always, when we adore the spiritual master as much as we love Sri Bhagavan, God, then we get all the inner meanings of the scriptures from that great soul. Because love and reverence is the channel of wisdom and of realization. Therefore, we should always think about the good qualities of the spiritual master and sing his glories. We should consider his body as divine and not see any fault in him. We must realize that when we do not perform the spiritual practice as per his instructions, this is very important, and do not chant the mantras given by him, we disregard the spiritual master and it offends the holy name. This is very important because you have been begging for guidance, asking for it, pleading to God for guidance. Then guidance comes and you receive it and you don't apply yourself with all your heart and soul. That is offensive behavior. You're disregarding the Guru, you're disregarding God himself. So this is a big offense, and without correcting it. And worse even is when the devotee already has some inner life, some devotion, who can access something else, something more, but treats things as with disregard, treat things as a right or as random or as casual. That is very, very, very offensive. And treats God, the Guru and God, like like someone else, like demanding and complaining about this, complaining about that. That is even worse. Okay, so moving on. To the next video, moving on to the next video. Okay.
Tvameva mata cha pita tvameva, tvameva bandhushka sakha tvameva, tvameva vidya dravinam tvameva, tvameva sarvam mama deva deva. Tvameva sarvam mama deva deva.